Well, funny. That's a more of a mirror. You're seeing me. It's weird. I'll see you later. Well, I'll see this version of our interaction later. I'm just thinking a lot about Iran. I'm gonna get the stream set up though here for a moment, and then I'll be right back. I want to make sure that the chat session's available and such. Good to see y'all, by the way. Oh, here we go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Clicking the buttons. Doing a chat board. It's a lot of data. Okay, what's happening? Live. Yeah, this is the first time I've went live with StreamYard in a while. Streamlabs, rather. And I just hit go live. So the settings might be all discombobulated. I apologize. And there's no thumbnail. It's just ayahuasca. Let me know if my audio is problematic. I appreciate it. I still have no chat feedback, so I'm just trying to keep it rolling. Playlists, no. All good. Customize, yeah. Chat. That is what I want to see. Give me that chat. Yeah, let YouTube insert the rules for me. That's nice of you, YouTube. Oh, I've got some live viewers right now. 55 people coming in. So I'm streaming on X, Twitch, and YouTube. You may be watching me on any one of those networks, which is fucking fully redundant, I understand. But the power of redundancy with a slight forward momentum is solidifying. It's like the rhythm of chorus, you know. Still, I'm getting it all prepped, so apologize for hanging out. Oh, there's a lot more people have come. It's 147 people have come and watched. This is the problem. The X analytics, if you come and then go, it says that you're still viewing, like viewer, it says, and you just assume it's a live viewer. But on all the other networks, as you leave, the number goes back down, which I think is righteous. So I mean, I can just start talking about Iran. I still don't have the chat. Let me see if I can get that fully integrated. I do enjoy the chat interaction. I wanted to get some feedback on what I'm going to say, which is the purpose of that. Huh? Wow, just no onboard chat. All right, I'm going over to the YouTube chat. I'll keep taking an eye on it manually. There's no stream. Oh, good. I see a thumbnail now. Oh, there. We got some chat on screen. Fantastic. Who is that? Turkenstein. Good vibes, dude. I was just singing Good Vibrations. Good vibrations. Yeah. I was playing it on the guitar. It's really nice. Visions. I did just monetize the stream, but let's play a little Good Vibrations before I get going. And man, Dragon Fruit, thank you for the subscription. Everybody subscribe, like the video, follow, chat. It means a lot. It also is super cool, and it's interactive, and it is a way to propel someone you love to the future. We have Dragon Fruit with the 5-month Prime. Subscribe. Love hearing and seeing that, baby. Let's go. So I'll play a little bit of Good Vibrations because this song is so good, and Brian Wilson deserves it. The mighty and powerful Brian Wilson his body has left the building, so to speak. I love you, Brian. Let me pull up Good Vibrations chords. This song is awesome, and it's relatively simple to play. I would have thought that a song like this would be about 80 million chords, but the reality is it's just complexly built. Here, I'll pull it over so you can see what I'm looking at. It's going to be on a different monitor, but here. The chord structure. What's up, everybody? Oh, I have a chat. Oh, here we go. Let me grab some Chizat. What's up, Dylan? Dylan Everkiller in the house. Love you, sir. I'm gonna shrink the window here, and then I'm going to rock a little bit of these vibrations. You know? Good vibration. No, I'm not in Florida right now, Turkenstein, but thank you for asking. Here, I got to fix it even more. Oh, the chat. I can see it again. But it's only on YouTube. I got to get Twitch as well. Uno momento, por favor. If you're on X, it's just going to be in retrospect that I'll see what you wrote in the comments. And in the future, I'll be happy to troubleshoot the Streamlabs chat room so that I get all my chats in one box. Oh, I gotta log in on Twitch. This has been a while. Go log in. It's gonna want my data. Oh, we're clear. Okay. I love that song. We go. Creator dashboard. Greetings from Venezuela, Hugo Bello. Good to see you, man. From Venezuela, dude. Oh, what a country. What a time of year, you know? You ever go to the tip, the peaks of the Arctics? Okay, let me get this live stream here. Stream manager, Twitch stream manager. It's another window. So I've got like 3 windows pulled up. One is StreamYard, chat room. One is X. No, I don't have X. Okay. Chats are in the building to the best of my ability. I apologize for the rough tech, but at least I can see your feedback. There we go. Jeff in the house. Let's play this Good Vibrations I was talking about. You have it. So these are the chords over here. You know, you've got, it's F, B, B flat, but then it's basically F, G, A is the beginning of the 3. It's F, B flat, G, C, A, D are the 3 chord progressions. And that sounds like, and it's got the capo on the first bar, but it's like, I'm feeling big excitations. So it's like, I'll just play it. Right here, you know, the audio ain't gonna be perfect, but I love you. That, Zach, with the 5 pink fingers. What's up, dude? Love you, man. Thank you. Oh, so from the top, I'm gonna have to scroll it mid. What if that was how I played this song? Let me give it a nice little tuner too. You know, I was jamming on it pretty hard earlier, so the strings were bent, and this neck, you know, I let the black plastic fall away on this, so the wood is expanding. It's cracked right here down the middle. You're supposed to keep a wet tube in there, this rubber tube with a wet cork, and wet the cork down here. I lived in the desert for a while, so as you can see, I scratched the shit out of it. This all happened over the course of like a 3-week period where I got really drunk. I don't drink a lot of alcohol, but there's a period where I did it when I was like 28. I was like, what if I drank a lot of alcohol? What would that be like? That'd be cool, right? I'd be like that guy. It wasn't that good. But I scratched the shit out of this machine. So let me tune. That sounds good. Yeah, I know it's it's on podcasts and it's talking about Iran, but I just wanted to play this song, and then let's talk about Iran a little bit, because I've been studying the history of the country since 1907 or so. I love that D minor. I love the colorful clothes she wears, and the way the sunlight plays upon her hair. I hear the sound of her gentle word on the wind that lifts her perfume through the air. I'm picking up good vibrations. She's giving me excitations. I'm picking up good pop, pop, yeah. She giving me excitation. Ooh, good vibrations. I'm bop, excited. Good vibrations. Close my eye. She's somehow closer now. Softly smile, I know she must be kind. blossom world. Oh fuck! I gotta look at what I'm looking at. I'm picking up good vibration. It just repeats. She giving me excitation. I'm picking up good vibration. She giving me ooh, good vibration. Oh, 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 good vibration. And then it goes to the A. The thing about this song is, it's like a science project, the way he built it, Brian Wilson. And if you miss one part, the entire experiment fails. So I apologize for missing that AC there. She goes, because this is my favorite part of the song. She goes, with me to a blossom world. I'm picking up good vibration. She giving me excitations. Oh, and then this part's pretty good. Oh, there it goes. Whoa, my, what an elation. I don't know where, but she sends me there. Ooh, my, what a sensation. My, what an elation. Gotta keep loving, good vibrations happening with her. Gotta keep loving, good vibrations happening with her. Gotta keep loving, good vibrations happening with her. Ooh, yeah. Then it goes, it's like a verse. Good, 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 good vibration. So it goes in reverse. Oh, the shout out to motherfucking Long Tooth with the 777 super chat. I love the 777 allegory, my man. We could talk about Catholicism and the religiosity of Christianity and maybe the magic of numbers for a long time. And I'm into it. And we got a fucking clap in the chat. I appreciate it, Longtooth. So Brian Wilson, the way he broke that down here, he sets you up where I was saying this before I started with the F, B flat, G, C, A, D, F, G, A. And then at the end, he leads you out with A, G, F. It ends the song in reverse. Pull the microphone up to my face now. He lets you down the way he picks you up, but in reverse. This song's wild. It's like a journey into a fantasy land. I love it where he's like, oh, sorry, I'm trying to do it with a pick in my hand. I should just use my mouse. I wanted to keep rocking, so I didn't want to let go of the pick. It's like a baby with a pacifier. You know, the beautiful song leads you with the nice chorus. Then it's got this cool riff, F, G, A. Then we're doing the D minor, F, F, G, A, like, and then at the end it's A, G, F. What a great song. Okay. I love that song. I wanted to talk about Rodney Tuxedo said, leave Timcast as Jewish and you know better. Ask Serge. He knows. Firstly, you got to define Judaism. Because what does that mean? Does it mean you mean in God, or does it mean that your dad was a Jew? Because you are not your father. Good, good, go, good vibrations, excitations. Let's get back to the chat. I want to say hello to everybody. I'm only glimpsing a piece of it here and there, but let me see if I can remediate that. Greetings. Good to see you again. don't know where, but she showed me there. Good vibrations. Good excitation. What's up, Kaz? Okay, let's go back. What's up, everybody in Twitch? We got Jeff, 3 songs racing. I love the sound of that. It was Dennis Wilson, who was friends with Charles Manson. That's true. Dennis Wilson, the drummer of the Beach Boys, Brian Wilson's brother, and the other Wilson guy. Dennis Wilson. He used to hang out with Manson. They made music together. Manson wasn't horrible. I don't know. I didn't think he wasn't. I mean, maybe you could say, I didn't mean it to sound like that. I mean, musically, he was actually relatively talented. Was that John Beer donated $2? Dang, brah. You sound comfortable and greatly tonight. Thanks, dude. I am comfortable and greatly. I did a sauna earlier, which improved my insides. All right, let's get down to business, man. I was talking about Iran earlier. You guys are all down with this. Come join me and let's talk about it from the beginning. But it's not really the beginning, you know? It's like, oh, Stu Peters, dude. Anthony Kinney asked what the hell happened to Stu Peters. I tell you, man, Stu interviewed me. He was great. Love Stu Peters. I don't know what he's doing, what he's talking about, but I'd love to talk to him again. It's good that we ground each other, you know? Who was worse, Hitler or Stalin? Oh, man. I mean, I don't know. Humans aren't binaries, so it's tough to say. You know, and they piggyback off each other. So Stalin saw what Hitler did, and then it's like, who was worse, Mussolini or Hitler? Well, in the beginning, it was Mussolini, and then Hitler learned from him all about how to do fascism right, how to do fascism properly. And they had a battle of fascism battle. What's up, Lizen Al Gaby? Gabby, good to see you. We also have Shahan Shah of the 7th chakra from Mithridates. Good in the house. Good to see you. Here, check this guy out. I've got it pulled up here. This is Reza Shah. This was like in 1905 or something in Iran. They'd been ruled by this dynasty of the Persian dynasty for like 2,500 years. It had been these kings, these Persian kings. And in 1905, there was a revolution. And it lasted roughly 6-7 years. I don't want to bastardize any of this, but it basically brought about disempowered the Shah, the king, and created like a republic. That's the idea. They're like, we're going to install like a prime minister. So in 1907, 08, 09, they basically kind of started to set up a real legitimate democratic republic, you know? Let me see if I can pull this up, actually, here, and I can read about it a little bit before we go into Reza Shah. Iranian Revolution. See, when you type up Iranian Revolution, a lot of it comes up, so you got to be specific about what year. Iranian Revolution, 1907. No, the Persian Constitutional Revolution. So this is before Iran existed, so they just designated it to Persia. But in Persia, 1905 and 11, I got the years right, that's good. There was a constitutional revolution. First time in 2,500 years. So this is like the Ottoman Empire was kind of about to fall. It was just empires were rumbling, you know? The way of the world, since the Republic was done right with the United States, relatively, all the other ones are suffering to keep up. And so for 20 years, this constitution, this government was starting to take a legitimate control of Iran and Iranian politics. And that was a big threat to the geopolitical orders of power, like the British Empire and the Russians were both wanted control in Iran. So it was like they all wanted control of the situation. The British had set up an oil company called the Anglo-Iranian. Let me see if I can pull it up, and then I'll go back into it deeply. Yeah, the Anglo-Iranian Oil Company. A big issue of here is that the Britons wanted the oil and the Iranians were trying to nationalize it. But so the Constitution was taking control, and they were really legitimate taking control. Anyway, the British didn't like that, so they marched this guy into power. This guy was Reza Shah. He's a military commander that the British basically got behind, and he was a general in the military. Mohammad Reza Shah. let's see if we can talk about the way he was a Persian Cossack. He was a general in the Cossacks, and by 1921, the British pushed him up the ladder. Anyway, there's a revolution. They got rid of they severely disempowered the Republic, the Iranian Republic, and put this guy in power. So this new Pahlavi dynasty became into power in like 1925. And this guy hated the clergy, didn't get along with the clergy much. He was very autocratic. He had a lot more authority than the Republic had before. But that worked for the Brits because he was just shipping them oil. So anyway, passed on to his son in 1941. His son loved the Brits. He loved the West. He was willing to sell the country out, put McDonald's in every corner. He didn't understand his own populace were like street vendors legitimately, and he put a lot of people out of business, which really gave fuel to the revolution that overthrew him, which is where you got the modern day, what we know as the Iranian Revolution. In 79, overthrew this guy, the son of the first king, the son, Mohammad Reza Shah. He was the guy that ruled for like 40 years or 50 years, from 41 to 79, so 58 years. No, that's not right, 38 years. And he was, what they call him, pro-West. Like, he was all for the West, so they loved him. But he was a lot more, say, sympathetic to the clergy later in life. So early in his career, they still have this republic, just like his father was like the king overseeing this, like the republic wanted the king to have like constitutional authority, like ceremonial authority, like what they got in Britain. They wanted the king to kind of step back, but this guy was severely autocratic like his father. And they're like, no, this is my kingdom. I'm making all the decisions, whatever he was saying. And, but he was fully pro-West. So they were backing him. He alienated a lot of people. In 1953, this is the coup that they say the CIA was involved in, Operation Ajax. They went in, and there was this prime minister that had been democratically elected, Mossadegh. He was really nationalizing their oil and taking it away from the Anglo-Persian Oil Company. He wanted to audit this British company that was siphoning oil. And they were like, fuck no. So they issued a coup, the Brits. And the French, I think, were involved. I could go deeply into it. In the United Kingdom, it was the United States in the United Kingdom. At this point, the United States was capable of establishing coups because it was post-World War II. Shout out to whoever that was, because there's a white background on white text. John Beer with the super chat, $2. Minerals rights versus fighting for freedom and weapons of mass destruction. Yeah, it's like communism versus, oil in Vietnam. They use the communism thing to scare people and to evoke emotions, but tactically it's for the oil right off the Malaysian coast that they're disclosing now. There are tons of oil, So, back to this Iranian coup, the United States, Operation Ajax, and in Britain it was called Operation Boot. They pushed out Mossadegh, and Mossadegh resigned. And then you were left with the king, Mohammad Shah. Basically, he came in like full authority in 53, and they loved him. I mean the British. But like I said, he alienated his people. He wasn't. So this whole time, this guy started to speak out against him. He was a very vocal against this guy. And he's like, this guy is, sold out to the empire, the British Empire. We need a real republic. And it was this guy, Ruhollah Khomeini. You may know him, later to become the Ayatollah, the first one, Ayatollah Khomeini. He was a very vocal antithesis to Reza Pahlavi, the king, and Mohammad Pahlavi, Reza, it was his middle name. And so Ruhollah spoke out against him. And so at one point it got so vocal, and there were people on the street like, yeah, this guy. And so they arrested him. The king arrested him and was going to kill him. But the people were like, please don't kill him. Please don't kill him. And so he was like, all right. He showed him some sympathy or empathy, and he banished him instead. But in exile, Khomeini wrote a book. He amassed massive following in exile for like 15 years or however long he was in exile. And he traveled all around. He went to Europe. He went to France at one point because they were like, yeah, go to France. They thought he was extremely radically Islam, like Shia Islam. but he was also deeply persuasive and really understood the essence of a republic. It wasn't until his death, like immediately, that they banished Parliament, that they completely got rid of Parliament completely. Like, he wasn't, it's usually how it starts. One charismatic, diclocrat goes in, and when they die, everything shatters and becomes, same with Alexander the Great, same with a lot of empires. But this guy, so he went out west to France at one point and was telling them all about how we need a republic, we need genuine freedom for the people. He didn't talk about any Islamic stuff, so they loved him in the press. But this was later. So this guy, extreme vocal, antagonist against the king. The king didn't kill him, so he escaped. And at that point, it was like it grew and grew and grew, and the king didn't delegate. He didn't set up a republic correctly. He just maintained. He tried to maintain autocratic control, which was for his westernized nation, it didn't fit. He wasn't agile enough to govern themselves, and that was his fatal flaw. And so it fell into the loudest voice's hands, who was Khomeini. He was the loudest voice. He wasn't necessarily the best ruler for a republic, but he would talk about a republic. And in 1979, the crowds got so rowdy that they overthrew the Shah, the king, Reza, and Khomeini came into power. And he served until 89 when he died. I don't know too much about, I could tell you more if I studied more about his life and like what he did. So, but I like as I said before, I don't think he was as extreme as the guy that came after him, Ali Khamenei. So it's not Khamenei, it's spelled different. Khomeini, Khomeini. It's Khameni. Meinimeni. Khamenei instead of Khomeini. Got it, guys. So they're not related as far as I know. Not in the immediate sense. And this guy, in 89, when he took over, is when they disbanded Parliament. He's the current leader. I don't know, man. That republic was never meant to be drastically religiously toxic. It was supposed, in my opinion, it was supposed to be gently, gradually set down into a democratic republic. And now I'm interested in your feedback. It's the opportunity for the great king to free his people. They're subject to him, and no longer now they are subject to themselves. They are free men. And that would be like the story of the epic king that helps create a democratic republic with the people, and then retires into freedom or whatever. And the problem was that Reza Pahlavi did not do that. He held on control, and maybe it was just out of probably maybe thought he had all the time in the world and was like, yeah, one day we'll do that. It'll be, what a dream. Maybe it never crossed his mind. But he had a chance to craft a new republic. I beseech all ye kings, when they say no kings, they're not joking around. Set up the best republic now, and then we can all get on board. Israel is saying they took him out like an hour ago, Daniel. You're talking about Ali Khamenei? I'm going to check it out. Yeah, I thought that the Israeli government didn't immediately take out Khamenei. No, they didn't. I'm just reading reports here on the internet. Sounds like they didn't. Now, what I think is happening is from the Israeli perspective and the war perspective, Trump said that they had access to Khamenei and they could take him out. Is that they're like, if we kill him, some young hothead will take over and they'll never surrender. This guy is old and tired. Maybe he'll see the folly of the death that could result from his behavior and will just cede power. It doesn't seem like he loves the people like Rudola. Rudola was a man of the people. This guy, props where props is due. Rudola Khomeini was the shit. Now, he's an extreme religious guy, unfortunately, for my opinion, phenomenal human beings can be broke. Like, he just, I don't know. He's very angry. He looks like life destroyed him, but that he has a pure soul, truly. But maybe, people become corrupted over time. But he looks like he had a really hard life and was like broken with hatred and anger and rage and jealousy and pity, and like overthrew and overcome with just darkness throughout his life, but didn't give up. But he alone couldn't do it, and he wasn't gracious enough to bow down to other men, like have friends and servitude to create a republic with. He probably maybe thought he had to do it all alone. I'm kind of just making stuff up, but he did become like the supreme leader, Which is, I think at some point, was that his title? President? I don't know. Yeah. That's the thing about revolutions is, first of all, anyone can take over. Well, that's hyperbolically. But it's the people that want it the most sometimes that get it. When there's a vacuum of power through a revolution of some sort, the people that want it the most will get it, will take it or whatever. That's not always the best people. So when you do it by choice, like I was saying, you can set it down by crafting a republic, by adopting a constitution. Then you circumvent the chance that a sycophant will get it, like a church religious guy, someone that's obsessed with a religion or something. Those can be very dangerous for governments, and that's been proven throughout time. And so I understanding that the way that this got set up to be, I think helps at least understand the motivations a little better. You said there's a bunker they hit 2 hours ago, and the IRG has it sounded and won't let anyone in. Israel saying he was in it. Well, hitting a bunker doesn't mean that everybody in the bunker got hurt. But I appreciate the reporting. If you have reporting on what's happening, I'm always happy to check it out. France and England. Oh, France and England did what? Can I pin this? France and England did what? Good question. France and England, dude. Those meddlesome countries trying to outbid each other for hundreds and hundreds of years. Oh, the Romans. Yeah, I know. Vacuums will always get filled. I like that I can pin these. Vacuums always get filled. Then the bag gets changed again. Yeah. Or technically you can like blow out the vacuum and clean it out and then reuse the bag. I don't know. Depends on the level of dirt and the way the bag is built and all that. But I understand the metaphor. Vacuums need to be cleared. Their chambers need to be emptied from time to time. And when you're doing that, hopefully nothing flies in there. Good to see you too, Matthew Vetter. The Iranian hostage crisis in the 80s. Well, that was shortly after the revolution. I was actually watching a documentary on the Iranians last night, I think. And, or a couple nights ago. The last 2 nights. And I only really got up to the 79 revolution. And then Carter was president, and there was all these problems. But I blame the government. I blame that Pahlavi didn't set up his... Oh, so what happened was Pahlavi, Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, the Shah, the king of Iran, had been Persia for 2,500 years. Iran. They should call it Persia again. It was badass. Do like a Democratic Republic of Persia. That'd be badass as fuck. Oh, my God. Love Persian women. I just love Persian humans. Women in Persia have that Mongolian flair, and sometimes they'll accentuate it with makeup, like a little bit of East Asian, the darkness of the Mediterranean sun with the lightness of Europe. It's just a beautiful contrast. Persia's so beautiful. Cover it not, my friends. Enjoy your love, your flair. Oh, thank you, Tetragram. I love you. Thank you. Hey, man. Thanks for being such a great person. You too, brother. Thanks for chatting for the first time, man. Tetragram and Twitch. Appreciate it, dog. So, like I was saying, Pahlavi was not religious. I don't think he wasn't Islam. But his dad couldn't stand Islam, and his dad, his in the 20s was the leader. He hated the clerics, the church, the whatever, the religious dynasty, the clergy, and they didn't like him either. He was autocratic, didn't get along. His son was like, I'm going to play nice. He got thrust into power at like the age of 22 or something. He was super young and humble, not a bad guy, just did what he did. Let's learn from his life. It's up there, real Audie Brown. And he gave over to the church a little bit, played their game, empowered the church, had a lot of mosques built. He played the game. He used the church to gain favor with people so that they didn't give him a hard time. He took God's name in vain, essentially. And then the church that he had built overthrew him. He didn't truly believe, so they didn't truly believe in him. Don't be a false prophet. Don't fuck with religion. Don't use it for earthly advantage. If you truly believe it, believe it. That's the lesson I got from that. What's up with the follow, Exxon Hero? Good to see you, man. A prince of Persia. That was a great game, by the way, Prince of Persia. Yeah, Persian and Turkish food. I try not to be racist, but I like that Middle Eastern, the cumin. I think it's the cumin. Is it the turmeric? So that was really the history lesson I taught myself, and I wanted to kind of throw out there and to you, if you're interested in learning about Iran. Did you have more questions about the history of Iran? I could look into it for sure. I think the Iranian hostage crisis, someone asked earlier, was in 1980. There were like four people that were detained hostage in Iran, and maybe I'm wrong, maybe it was like 60. The Iranian hostage crisis. Let's learn in real time. Someone asked me a question, and I was like, ask me questions, and I just ignored. I was like, I don't know. Next question. Let's find out the answer to your question. What do I know about the Iranian hostage crisis? A lot more in about 4 minutes. The Iran hostage crisis, they tell you how to say it in Persian there, began on November 4th, 1979. When did Khomeini get into power? He didn't get into power until the 3rd of December. It was a month before Khomeini got into power. The revolution, though, I think had... Let's find out about the 79 revolution. Typing. Need cheese. Thanks, dude. You too, man. I like that name a lot, and I love that need is all caps. That's cool. They said if you're going to compliment someone, be specific. Give them like a specific compliment about a specific thing. Like a stripe on their shirt, or like the way they took a step, or like the tone of their voice when they said a word because it had a meaning. Those really. I learned that 25 years ago, and it stuck with me. But I also really like your name. Need is all in caps. Need cheese. I get it. Okay, let's read this together. This is my Braves artificial intelligence response to the Iranian Revolution of '79. Was a pivotal event that led to the overthrow of the Pahlavi dynasty and the establishment of the Islamic Republic of Iran. Quaint name. Call it whatever you want. Call it a republic, and then do whatever you want with the government, I guess. Call it whatever you want. Call it the Democratic Party, and then try and install your candidate like Kamala Harris or somebody like that, and you just pick that they're going to be the candidate, even though the party's called Democratic. You do it without, like, throw democracy out the window and just pick a candidate that you're going to, you can call your thing anything. They called it the Republic, and then they just made some theocracy. They should have called it the Islamic theocracy if they're going to fuck around. Okay, anyway. Be emotionless. Neutrality rules. January 7 of 1978 to February of 11. So it was like 2 months. They said it lasted like in 6 months. The people that were there, some of them were saying it was like within 4 months it was all done or something like that. Yeah, Pahlavi did not have the energy for it at the end, and he wouldn't send out the troops. He didn't, like, they were waiting for his call to stamp down the rebellion, and he just wasn't doing anything. So they're okay, guess that's it. And then he was asked to leave. Okay, so yes. Okay, blah, blah, blah. A revolution in early 79. By the end of 79, there was a crisis. 52 Americans at the Embassy of the United States in Tehran were held from November of 1979 to January of 1981. That's a year and 2 months, almost 3, that they sat in the embassy. Or that they were taken out of the embassy. I'm not sure if they were kept in the embassy or if they were allowed out or taken somewhere. The incident occurred after the Muslim student followers of the Imam's line stormed and occupied the building in the months following the Iranian Revolution with support from Ruhollah Khomeini, we all know and love. You can still have love for people that you disagree with, and you can even have love for things that you destroy. Not that, anyway. Okay, who had led the Iranian Revolution and would eventually establish the present-day Islamic Republic of Iran. The hostage takers demanded that the United States extradite Iranian King Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, who'd been granted asylum by the Carter administration for cancer treatment. They wanted the king. Notable among the assailants were Hossein Dagan, future Minister of Defense of Iran, Mohammad Ali Jafari, future Commander-in-Chief of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, and Mohammed Bagheri. I just had a wave of thinking about people that went to like January 6th, just like people that show up at some riot, then they end up in power in the government. That's crazy. It's and there are people, I could see how the human being, well, I know him and I like him, so this time it's so bad that maybe it will be like, but millennia of lives have showed us that violent. I don't know. I love the like "don't tread on me" motto, where like you govern yourselves, and if they come and fuck with you, then you get them off your lawn. Well, anyway, that's what happened there when they stormed the asylum. They stormed the asylum. That's funny. They stormed the American embassy here in Tehran, and so for 444 days, the hostage crisis. Then what happened? Did they give the king back? After it came to an end with the signing of the Algiers Accords between the Iranians and the American governments, Iran's king had died in Cairo, Egypt, on July 27th of 1980. So 6-7 months later, they're like, fuck it. We got what we wanted. Yeah, it was the Iranian hostage crisis. They wanted the king back. Should we have given the king back? I know a lot of people that would say yes to that. 52 Americans held hostage over there. Were they righteous to do that? This king that had stamped down on them and killed their friends? Ordered just mindless. It's weird to get into the mindset of someone that had gone through something like that. Like, it almost makes me evil. Not evil, but willing to destroy. They say, like, people, like actors, it's one of the things about being an actor is it can drive you insane. Oh, I say that. Heath Ledger, I feel like he just did movies where he played crazy guys. Like the gay guy with Jake Gyllenhaal, where he's like, and he's probably questioning his sexuality and like, but I'm not supposed to be, I'm not really gay. And then the Joker drove him nuts. And he was, I think he was taking drugs along with it, which will open up your memory glands, your sense memories, and you'll be like, believe. It's like experiencing life without memory. Like everything is so open and like, whoa. Yeah, that can twist you. So watch out. Getting into the mindset of a killer. I just want to say hello to John Francis. Ian doesn't age. Well, define age, but your telomeres can regrow. So you can actually get younger, but I oscillate. I'll get older and younger and older and younger. I can feel it. Like different things make me older and younger. Salt, too much certain chemicals will age my body. The hairs will become whiter. Then I go back to green vegetable and like limit my diet and soak in the tub and stuff. And the dark hairs come, like it darkens and gets dark again. And I'm like, all right, age, what is age? Time, motion, degradation of cells or whatever. You can regrow your cells. Your telomeres, which are the end caps of your chromosomes, which as your cells split, if they don't have energy, they'll compensate by clipping off the end caps of these chromosomes inside the cell to maintain energy. So they're like, okay, can't afford those, but everything else will stick together. So they get rid of these end caps, just tips. And that's what they call aging, is that cellular loss, that information loss. So if you can regenerate these proteins called sirtuins that measure the energy levels in your cells, these sirtuins, these proteins that over time they say your body makes less of, well, you can regenerate your protein growth, this sirtuin growth. You get a super accurate readout of your cellular energy. As long as your body's readouts of its own energy supply is good, when your cells divide, you don't lose anything. Hyperbolically. You may still gain or lose certain things, but it's all about the accurate energy measurement readouts. So you want these proteins to be not hyperactive, but just willing to be hyperactive. And then you want to clear out your system. I think like free radicals can mess with it. That's the thing about vegetable oil. Basically polyunsaturated fat. You got to watch out for that stuff because it's not saturated with hydrogen like other fat chains, which fats are just carbon. It's a bunch of carbons. When they're saturated, it means it's hydrogen. You're nice and saturated. It's not no free radicals. The electrons don't go flying away because it's saturated with hydrogen energy is protecting the inner energy of the fat. But with these unsaturated fat chains that are produced in like labs, but like super high temperature, grotesque shit, the electrons go flying through your cells, rip off energy from your mitochondria, do cellular free radical damage to your mitochondria. I think that it might cause energy readout malfunction or like make it a little more challenging to get accurate readouts of the cellular energy if it's getting twisted or like pierced by external ions, external like electrons that are flying through it. So you really want an accurate, sustained readout of your energy cells, like protect your cellular energy so that they can divide accurately. That's anyway, long story, relatively 20 minutes or less about aging and what that means. And solar age is different than genetic age. I think a lot about that, John Francis, and you listening. Be around the sun 50 times, but your genetics may stealthily held, and you're like, oh, I have the genetic age of like a 30, whatever, like I was 20 years ago. I'm actually healthier than I was then genetically. You can do that. I don't know about age diffraction or like twisting and torping age and stuff and years and twisting, but like in deep space where there's no relative time. I don't know. The idea of time and change starts to become one and the same. So I'm talking about, dude, Dr. Wallach. Oh, let's bring up the face since I'm going ham there for a second. Smashing my words against your mind. Hey, dude, I just want to say hey to Tetragram. The Matrix is very real. Literally, Tetragram, we are in a matrix. It's a three-dimensional matrix in the literal sense of what a matrix is. You can map the room you're sitting in right now with an X, Y, and Z axis. So you've got your three dimensions, your matrices, these points within a three-dimensional accuracy, and you can measure it. And if you're able to measure within your matrix what each aspect, every single microspot of the every position within the matrix, if you can measure what is there, how much, and where. I mean, so it's what and how much, how dense of it. So what is the chemical makeup there, and what is the density of the chemical makeup? If you can measure that at every point, you can reproduce it. And you can create a matrix. You can basically scan your surroundings and then reproduce them. Your matrix, what, where, and how much. But like where is almost, if you're going to map every point anyway, then you don't need the where part. You just need the what and how and the density of it. But the thing about a point is there is no space, so there's no density in a point. But, so maybe this mind experiment fails. Yo, K9 Striker and Kaz. We also have Steve Choi in the house with Late Night Stream. Yeah, it was pretty fun. We talked about Iran. Oh, Exxon Hero. Yeah, what, where, when. And it was pretty informative. My personal emotions, I'm trying to parse the conflict in the Middle East, and for so often I was like, Israel's such a belligerent, this Israeli government. And then I started to read about the way that they fucked over their population, the Iranian government, when it got into power. It was extreme radical change. People were like walking around in suits and girls in dresses and like living life generally normally. And then these guys came into power. I don't hear any like badass Iranians on social media. That's a big problem. Why is their population getting fucked? It bothers me because Iranian people are some of the best and brightest of human history. The Persian, like they would aggregate the best of the best from all these different places to the capital and like centralize them and then reproduce them. And they created glorious culture. So to have it be like a silent partner on the outskirts, barely relevant, is like, this government has fucked their people so bad. And they've had two leaders in 30 years, 79 to now. That's 45 years. They've had two leaders. That's so insane for a republic. That's not how it works. So I'm happy to see the people take control of their government, whatever. I'm happy to support it. And I know that. I think that in every country, if there's autocracy, I want the people to sovereignate themselves. And I'm happy to support it from a distance, as the French supported the American Revolution from a distance. Or however, support it, Like, I want people to be free and to govern themselves decentralizedly, connectedly, work together as leaders, collaborative leaders. Yeah, don't stifle your partner. A better neighbor is a better you. There might be a reality where you're really, truly competing for resources, but a guy that knows how to generate water out of the air because he's been given such freedom to experiment is going to do wonders for your culture, better than if you competed with him your whole life and stepped on his neck. So you need to lift up your populace, trust the people, stop throwing a book in the air and acting like it, man. I mean, you can say the same about the Constitution, but people don't throw the Constitution in the air. They'll like quote pieces and parts of it that make literal sense. They don't like, damn you, this is the authority, so you have to bow down. They'll actually make sense of why it's there. We're not slaves to our data. It's slave to us. Oh, that's good, George. No, I wasn't talking about the helix. George Ordway in chat. No, I don't know what the helix is, to be honest. But if you do, tell me, and I'll talk about it. I'm going to look it up. Iran helix. I was thinking today about the Iron Helix. No, that's something else. It's a video game. I was thinking today about... No, I'm not pro Iran gaining a nuke. Put God first. Jay Sill. I'm not. Now I understand. It's not... I was going to say it's not a legitimate government. It is in the sense that it took control of its country and has been governing it. But it's not... The people aren't thriving like they're meant to be. Or should be. That's a failure in that system. It's not, you don't want to proliferate that. So yeah, it needs to be stood up. I would love to go to Iran and hang out with all those people in that cool ass fucking ancient temples and shit, dude. What a place. Yeah, we need the people back. The legitimate Iranian people that have been there hundreds of, like, they have a voice. It's time to hear them. It's summertime. Go fishing, man. Good to see ya. John Francis in the house. Thanks, man. I'm not a big fan of fishing, but maybe you're onto something. Oh, thanks, Chet. Oh, yeah, tighten it up. Yeah, we were just talking about something before I was a little sidetracked by, your friend had to evacuate. Helix. It was what we're going to look up what the helix is. Oh yeah. And then I started thinking about military technology and tactics. So I'll talk a little bit about drone warfare and basically about army groups. So in one of the things the Germans had right was splitting up treating their army groups, because everybody was learning about combined arms tactics. We're still doing it. Now we have drones, so drones will be supporting infantry. Drones will be supporting tanks and jets. You'll have like a jet flying, and there'll be like a squadron of drones protecting every jet. But what's going to happen is, if you take a lesson from the Nazis, and also Napoleon, they knew how to decentralize command and basically created army groups of pure speed of the tanks. But the Germans and everybody else was using tanks to support the infantry, so they were all moving at the speed of infantry. The Germans came around, they're like, why don't we just build these super fast machines that can get to behind the enemy? So they prioritized speed, which is why they were able to surprise attack Polish, the French, and the Russians so hard. But once the Russian, the surprise attack wore off, they were like they froze in Russia. But that surprise attack ability with drone warfare, you're going to want army groups of drones. I mean, I'm talking hundreds of millions of drones in an army group, literally. Squadrons of 600,000 of them, 60,000. I don't know what the terminology would be, but you would have, and you'd have some above, some below, some way far away. You wouldn't have them all. And technically a drone could switch from squadron to squadron just by flipping a digital thing. So like drone squadrons would fly through each other, or they would work as a unisquadron, and then the drones would desegregate and then clip back into their formation. And if you've got them, if your supply line is like pumping out the same parts, you're going to have the same drone, and you're going to have them regular. But I think it's a smart move to speed up. I want to work with our government, with our military command, to give them ideas, but to speed up our military. And I'm literally talking about the speed of our machines. Like, get those super fast drones. It's a different world. We're not getting, like, the tanks got the humans behind the enemy faster. The drones don't get the humans behind the enemy. They just get robots behind the enemy, which is similar. You can blow up supply lines, cut off supply lines with robots. Eventually, you'll be able to put humans in drones, but we're talking about drones. I'm not talking about humans and drones. It's just an idea, army groups of drones, which are inevitable anyway. It's like, be the first. I want to like redeploy or refocus our military industrial complex on drone development and just pump out hundreds of millions of drones and then blow them up with our military and get really good at blowing up drone swarms. And then let's do it. Terminators are coming. Soul Keefe with the Terminators are coming. The allegory to the movie Terminator. Yeah, I think, semi-autonomous machines that are built to kill specific people. It's not far off. Crazy concept, but like, war hath no bounds. What a technology. Like, we are in a universe, dude. What is this reality, bro? Zachary Hughes, what's up, Ian? I can't sleep. The damn war drums again, keeping me awake, making me crazier. That's what I'm talking about, Zach. I'm with you. I identify with you in that, man. I've been wicked, busy mind, to the point where I'm like stifling it down. But that's why I went live. It's just good to talk out your thoughts. MRADs? MRADs are probably good at wiping out large swaths of drones. Really? I'm looking up MRADs right now. Let's check them out. It's funny. What are MRADs? Why is it showing me all that weird stuff? What are MRADs? MRAD versus MOA. Oh, here we go. Milleradian? You're going to have to tell me what an MRAD is. I've heard of it before. MOA versus MRAD. It looks like a rifle scope. Here, I'll show you what came up, oddly. This is what comes up when you're like, what is an MRAD? What are MRADs? Microwave dish weapon. Directed energy weapons. Yeah. That's exactly what I was just thinking. I was going to say the pedantic version of it. I was like, we just need directed energy. We need beam weapons. Yeah, what we need is area denial weapons. You're right, Mithridates. You're also right. Sean Morris, thank you. Bobby, also, Sean, you may be Neo. I've told you before, it's kind of silly, but I'm like, I am Morpheus in this realm. I'm going to constantly remind people they're in a machine, and that when you develop or understand how to reverse engineer the code around you based on just knowing, no, that's how it was built for sure. That's the language, because it wouldn't look like that if it is using that language. And then you can, with your mind, reverse engineer the software code of your surroundings and wake people up. I just don't know the code, so that's why I know I'm not Neo. Neo knew all the code, or enough of it to survive and probably learned as he went. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking with drone attacks. So like a drone swarm will come in from every angle. You can't shoot it with ballistics. You have to use like a beam pulse that pulses in 360 and just knocks every drone out of the sky. And just boom, boom, boom. Like every jet will have boom and just knock every drone out. But then they'll have, EMP shields, and you might be able to use lower frequency to knock them out of the sky. Like, you really want to look at resonating vibration. Are these military secrets that I shouldn't be talking about online? But you really want to look at resonating vibration if you want to knock things out of the sky at different frequencies. And then resonating frequencies of resonating frequencies. And then you amplify them. The whole world is a machine. I was thinking about my body as a machine. Tech Ingredients did a video using MRADs to disable drones. I mean, that's my best suggestion at the moment, is using microwave area denial dish weapons. But whatever you need, power, it would be nice to do it with a lower power supply, but we'll need better batteries. Hydrogen. It'd be cool to like have a jet that's flying, that's combusting fuel, like petroleum, jet fuel, and then all that carbon that's coming out is captured within the system, within the engine, and converted into graphene, and then it gives off hydrogen gas, which is captured and used as fuel, extra fuel, and then you just let the thing lands with like 60 pounds of graphene on board every time. I'm really looking forward to the petroleum hydrogen hybrid vehicles. So I think it was a fun stream. I think I'm gonna get going here. Gary, hello Gary. I've actually been playing RimWorld. I was just thinking about you, Gary, playing as a druid on a different game. It's just so fun to have a druid character. Yeah, I've been gaming a lot behind the scenes. It's kind of nice. Loads of music equipment, chord progressions. Have you been experimenting with lately? Here, I'll play you what I was playing earlier. Salt Shaker. It's a G, but it's like a G5. I gotta tune it. It was a doo 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 doo. That was about as far as I got with it, but yeah, I guess it would be just the G to the F. But I was like a G. It all started with looking at a G5. I'm like, how would I play a G5? I think it's just this. Could be wrong. I think that's a G5. Hey, what was that? Someone just came with a $5 super chat. It's Gary M with a $5 super chat. I've got a game for you. Altars on Steam. Really? Really good so far and very unique concept. Hey, Nova Mike, thank you. Nova Mike 56. Altars on Steam. Yeah, I'm going to pull it up really quick. Oh, I want to pop back to my face before I start rocking. Is this called alters? What is alters, dude? Was ist das? Do 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 do. Weedy wit wit weedy boo. Oh, Kaz, my pleasure, man. Yeah, I was gonna stop the stream, but then someone asked about about the music, and I was like, yeah, I'll just change. I'll change direction. I'll change focus of the stream and just play a little music and then go to bed. But let me tune this. I was talking earlier. Is that G? This guitar, because it's so warped and beaten, that the neck is probably not perfectly straight. I think it's bowed a little here, and the strings are maybe not being pulled on evenly. I don't want to manifest problems with it because it's a wonderful guitar I've had for like 20 years, but I think it's showing its wear. I often think about buying a new one when I'm playing it and it's out of tune after like 2 songs or 1 song. Let me jam that one a little bit that I was just playing. Do 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 do, boo do 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 do. I just play those 3 strings. There it is. Oh. I can do this. Like I hear it in my head, and I just get my body to do it. It's fun though. It's a challenge. Kind of cool though. I like playing off sync things. Like it doesn't have to be in 4/4. I mean, it's in 4/4, but the guitar doesn't have to be like on the beat. Super simple. I was more working on riffs over complexity, but I don't know. I like to like this chord. I love that chord. What a chord. Anyway, it's so dissonant, you know, like it's just not easy to play. Then it'd be that, which is the E A D G. It'd be the A, the G, I guess, but whatever. Oh, that. Okay, I'm done. Glad you liked it. Thanks. Trey Anastasio. That was that's Fish. I'm a big fan of Fish. Well, I wouldn't say I'm a big fan of Fish, but I really like Fish. Because I know big fans of Fish. And that's Trey Anastasio's band. Bouncing Around the Room was hyperbolic. I mean, it really transformed me in the 90s, mid 90s, in my room listening to the radio Then that song came on. I was like, geez, there's nothing like it. It was just so beautiful and smooth. There was a little bit like it, like Beacon Light. Oh, the beacon light, 'cause it's on. Like Ween. Ween was a little bit like Fish, but Fish was more funky. They were like Primus. And I didn't get into their deep stuff, just the stuff on the radio. But I went to a Fish concert with my buddy Bill and his brother and like his brother's friend. And we smoked a lot of pot before the show. And I was like, let's fucking rock, because I smoke a lot of pot, especially at that period of my life. I was like, let's go all the way, baby. And it was so hot in the concert. I felt like I was trying to perform for all these people. It was in Connecticut somewhere, like north of like, some Connecticut, and or in that area. And I passed the fuck out at that concert, man. I just sat. It all came going, turning it into some other blackness, darkness. Anyway, but I just laid down, and they came up and got me, and they were like, "Hey, you okay?" I was like, "Yeah." They're like, okay, get in the chair. And they put me in a chair. This is like security or whatever. They're like, just sit down. And I was like, okay. That was all I wanted to do anyway. I was standing. And I passed the fuck out, dude. That show was so intense. So hot. It was just so saturating, loud, and bright, and amoebic. And it was intense. And I didn't know the music, so it was a lot. It was requiring a lot just to focus. And I didn't have a seat. But anyway, I already told you that part of the story. So the security's cool. They're like, I didn't like puke all over myself when they asked me if I was okay. I didn't scream. They were like, okay, yeah, he's okay. He just fell down because he probably ran out of oxygen for a minute. Get back in the seat. And that was the rest of the night was a blur. It was pretty cool though. Fish, if you like them, you like them. Yeah, it was definitely big boys. It was, thank God, not a typical Ian time, but I smoked a typical amount of pot in retrospect, in my opinion. It was just a hyper-intensive environment. And that's me, at the concerts. I was thinking about like seeing like Collective Soul or Foo Fighters and how tame it was in comparison, or Pearl Jam laying on the blanket, sitting on a blanket far away. And that Fish show. I was like pulling myself back from the dead, and my body was struggling. How do songs come to me? Usually as sounds. That's so vague. It's a funny thing just to pause on. Songs come to me usually with a chord. So I'll play a series of chords. I'll just pick ones I like what I was playing earlier. And it'll be like, then I'll pick a melody, or higher. And what I'll be doing is taking like vocal riffs that I've heard in the past, like ooh, ooh, that's Beatles. You can find the Beatles. Ooh, that's done in musicals. I think in a lot of musicals that I listened to growing up, and like I went to school for theater, so introduced to a lot of musicals. It's just octave. It's just an octave shift, but and like video games. I get a lot of my musical inspiration from like Nintendo, the creators of the early Squaresoft, the music from like Final Fantasy and Chrono Trigger, and like this brilliant orchestration just embedding in my mind Tetris, like as a kid, just listening to music. And then I got into like the 70s and 80s, like U2, Tom Petty, Collective Soul when I was like 12 with my buddy, introduced me to the Eagles, that whole genre. Before that, it was mostly like Talking Heads and the Beach Boys, and like MC Hammer when he was hitting it with Please Hammer Don't Hurt 'Em, shit off the radio like Informer, that good shit in the early 90s, late 80s. I watched that transition from shitty music to good music. No offense if you're a big fan of the 80s, but just people started to really feel what they were saying again. Maybe they had lost it in the mid 80s. Guns N' Roses was very coked out. Guns N' Roses really kind of defined the 80s in a lot of ways. And then when they just fluttered and like Izzy left the band, Izzy Stradlin, their rhythm guitarist who wrote most of their first album, it was like they were a shell. And it was like that was the energy of the late 80s. It was a shell. The music industry was like a shell. And then the Seattle rock scene, U2 also felt shit. U2 was pretty prolific. U2 was kind of like, and REM, they were like really feeling it. And Prince, like those guys were just fucking livid, like pretty electrifying. And then all the bands broke through, all of them in the early 90s. Seattle scene, Blues Traveler, you fucking go down the Blur, you go down the list of all the bands that popped it from 91 to 93, but yeah. So that a lot of my influence, I just named off a lot of like where you're gonna hear these verbal, these chords come from, do 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 do, and then like so I'll start with the chords. There's a song I heard once that does that over and over again for a while. And it's like in a different key. Maybe it's like Guster or by Guster or something. I don't know. It's a fun sound. And then I'll make the noise. And then I'll make noises that are like, that have sounds like. Well, actually, no. First, I'll think of like who I'm going to sing to or what what it's going to be about. And apparently, this is if I'm like looking for something to say. If it's about other people's pain and I want to sing to you about your pain, it's real easy to write lyrics because it's so obvious what I would do to help you not stop feeling your pain, but to help you transmute your pain into love. Like if I know you and I can think about that and just how I felt about you, I could write about that. And it's very emotional, but that's when the lyrics come flying out. For me, that was good advice from Moshe Laredo. Check him out. He produced a couple of songs of mine. Frequent Measure, they're on YouTube, and also Deep South on YouTube. Check them both out. They're both very good. Momo's the man. Great advice for writing. That's when you want lyrics. But you could be like, I'm going to the store and I'm gonna buy out all the flowers out. No. Over the store. I like doing that, like blending notes. Oh, flute, and inversions. So you get do 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 do, or like you can also take the notes you're gonna hit, like do 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 do, those three notes, do do do. We take like so, and then you do do do. You can do it in different orders. So I'll picture a bunch of notes in a chain, like in a chord, and like seven of them, do 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 do, and I'm like do 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 do, and I'm like, okay, 1 5 3 4 3 5, and I'll just do like different patterns from the notes in a chord. That's like a scientific way to build a song. Often I'll just play some basic chords, and I'll start making noise that I feel. I really feel like the meaning of the sound of my vocals. But if you want to construct it like a scientist, you can do like pick chords, and like I think Brian Wilson did that, especially with I love the colorful clothes she wears. That song, he did that a lot. I guess there's different methods and techniques for writing songs. Yeah. It's 1:23 and I'm playing guitar on the radio. That'd be a better. On the radio. Yeah, that's it. They're looking at me on Twitch or YouTube Studio. Well, I had a different chord in there. You're stretching your feet. Now I'm just making rhymes. On the... What was the chord I went to there? On the sand of the beach. And then you're like, I don't want the song to get too nonsensical, because it's about me sitting here playing music while I'm watching. Oh, and then you can reuse chords too, so you can play the same chords in the verse in the chorus if you want, and then just change the chorus melody, vocal melody drastically, and it'll be awesome. So you can reuse the verse in the chorus. I do that in frequent measure, but because the vocals are so different, no, it doesn't really sound like the same chords. You know, it's that over and over and over and over and over, with a breakup. And so you want to, when you're going into your pre-chorus, so after that first part, you're looking at me on the radio, play me over, and then you go back into, you could go back to the A. This is a very kind of almost like a cop-out because it's been done so much in the last 25 years, but if you did this in the 90s, you would have been heralded as a super genius that figured something out, that was doing something new. But now it's been done so much that I try to be more creative than this, but like if I'm like these chords back into the pre-chorus, you can go back to that second chord from the verse. So you're going backwards one, because it's almost like you're like, hold on, let me get a little traction. You can repeat that. But it's not. You can put that between your verse and your pre-chorus. But like, I want to make something more creative, something different. That's why having a writing partner is really cool, because they'll have totally different. You've got your lane that you're in, whether you realize it or not. You're probably pretty good at getting out of it and getting in other lanes and thinking different. But other people are in another lane, and they see and hear reality differently, and they'll play a chord that works in a way where you're like, what the fuck? And it sounds so good when they're good, and you're like, everything they do is good. Like when you work with people like that, they'll give you, and it'll be like weird, but it's up to you as a successful musician to realize that weirdness is okay. That's why you have writing partners and why bands that write together are so great, because they bring these different focus, these angles into the sound. And it takes a bit of humility in learning, because you might want to be like, hold on, wait, try this stuff, and want to control. But I've noticed the best stuff comes when everyone's putting their creative energy out, and it synergizes or synchronizes. Yeah, when you can, and you'll notice when you know people personally, and then they play music, when you play with them, you know what they're going to do a little bit more, because you know their personality. And you're like, I can anticipate how you're going to move chords, and they don't always do it the way you expect. And you're like, what? And you'll sing a dissonant, like when I work with Tim, I think a lot, who I've been playing with lately. Every once in a while, I play a chord that I wasn't expecting, and I'll be singing a note that I expected another key to pop up, and I'll be like, well, it sounds dissonant for a moment, and I can bend the note a little, but sometimes it's okay and even good to produce a dissonant sound. The Beatles did it a lot, and at the time it sounded dissonant, and now we know it as normal, because it's been ingrained in the human consciousness, that sound, those notes together. So you can do that with trust and feeling and emotion, when you're, but that comes back to working with other people. So if you're working alone, you want your verse. On the ground. Those are just the basic 3-chord sheets. Then he goes back to the that's kind of a lame pre-chorus. So then I would pick. So what I would do is I'm listening to the bass note through all this. I'm like, sit on the ground. I think I found it's going to be the F. Oh yeah, so I would go, whenever I use a C in a song, I feel like an F is really useful. But so when you're picking your pre-chorus, it could be anything, man. That's the thing about making music, is you have total creative control. So whenever you hear a song, you're like, I don't like that. Make the one you like. That's what I figured out. And it heals your body too when you perform the one you like. It's easy, obviously, to dislike. It's easy to snap anger and judgment and all those things. It's also easy to love and be good. Maybe it takes a little bit more bravery to do that, because if you don't put others down, you might not look great, but you can look great regardless of other people. Thank you, man. Thank you, Nick T. I saw that word great. Ian, such a great heart. That was very nice of you to say that. Midnight Toker, that was very nice of you, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, I like most music too, and I appreciate the sound, regardless of if the chords. Some chords move me, and in a way, you know what I mean. Move me like they make my DNA vibrate in a way where I'm like, oh, this one's healing me. Oh, this one makes me want to stand up straight. You know, like some sounds, but it could be sense memory from how I was built and crafted. So there's that like familiarity tone. But I'm with you. I pretty much appreciate harmony. If a music has some sort of harmony, I can get behind it. I can learn from it. I don't necessarily want to put it on repeat and ingrain it into my soul, but I can learn from it. I can integrate it into my sounds. I appreciate that. The Phrygian node, dude. Ebo. I don't know what Ebo is. Empo 1 2 3, but so then it would be like do do it ain't go down, down and now, now, banana now. And you don't have to sing every moment. There's a tendency to want to fill the empty space with vocals. You don't have to. It's actually, you learn when not to sing as important as when you're singing. There's like, na 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 now. We'll be like, na 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 now. I've noticed lately, da 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 da. Then reusing that last chord of the pre-chorus as the first chord of the chorus. You could do that. If then the chorus can be anything, but you've got it's still in the same key. You can change key for the chorus too. Stick it on that. Oh, that's good, big boys. Yeah, I'm having a fun time too, man. It's a nice kind of relaxed, low key stream talking about music for the moment. Called Iran. I love that. You know, shout out to the Iranian people, the Persian Empire, the humans from within. Saturated. Support you all. I love you. I'm with you. I'm feel you and through you. Oh man, The Edge, With or Without You by the Beatles. You're mentioning. I like that. Hopefully the stream will pop back on. Okay, good. Yeah, it was. I think the stream glitched a little. I think that the stream might be acting up. Is it still lagging? You guys are good? Good? Everybody's good? Yeah, I think that the stream got a little crunchy there for a moment. Take off these glasses. They're making me hot. Literally, they're squeezing my head, causing my circulation to increase. Which might cool me down in the long run if it gets the lymph to lower the acidity, you know, through flush. Did a sauna earlier. It was great. I got to put my glasses on to read the chat from this distance. I'll admit it. Ugh, these squeezy head things. And then writing songs about the Southland. Writing songs about the Southland. I've been finger picking a lot. Here, this one's called Oxygen. Let me see if I can pull it off on the stream. I was practicing this a lot while I was in Miami. I played it like 20 hours or something. I think. That could be exaggeration. I might have only played it for like 10 hours. Literally this same song. No, there's no way I played this song for 10 hours. will go background with you. Tell me what you want me to. I feel it flowing through a billion other people too. No, I always knew I had to show my work to prove I'm awake. I'm breathing oxygen alone. In my life, I can feel their embrace. Oh, my love is pouring out of me from above, an elemental sea. I need you, but I don't want you. I feel you inside my windshield. I'm through you, but I can catch you. I love you, and I will tell you. I'm feeding, eating out my soul from above, an animal I'm told. All aboard, we're saving planet Earth. My friends experience rebirth. Yeah, that was it's called Oxygen, but yeah, that was pretty gritty. Salt Shakers like just needs some more something because this is lacking. I'm like, yeah, it just needs a real guitarist to hit all the notes of each of those chords. It was hurting the fuck out of my hand just then trying to press down on this acoustic guitar with insanely high action. I gotta lower the action on this thing to play that fucking intricate Spanish guitar at the end, like, and my fat fingers aren't making all the notes like that. What a chord that is, if you can hear it. Fuck. Oh, what a chord. Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, it sounded pretty good. I don't know. I would need to move to another studio to go full volume at the moment, I feel like, because there is a friend of mine is sleeping nearby, and I don't want to blast his fucking ears out. But it's also a test for me to play to the room, you know, read the room. It doesn't all have to be loud and extreme. Thank you, Big Boys. Oh, also, thank you for becoming a member. Big Boys has become a member on YouTube. I really appreciate it, man. Big meetings, dude. That's very cool of you. Thank you, dude. Big Boys. Who get Jacob Hobb? Jacob Hobbs in the house said you ran so far away. I ran so far away. Yeah, I know. I named the stream Iran. I talked about Iran earlier. This mic is not set up for music. It's definitely a podcast mic. And I have it tweaked. I hope the volume is good. Sometimes people say it's too low. Sometimes I'll turn it up and it'll peak. And I'd rather have it a little quieter. And not peaking, but maybe there's a way to refine it, and get it just right. But I have to be careful with how much volume I project into this thing. It's a tool. Same with this guitar. I used to think if I hit it, it would just be fine, but there's a way to push it and to press it. There's a way. It's not so brute. It's not like scratching at a wall. Like singing is more brute. Singing is brute force. And like you can twist just with grit, with like internal grip, like the kind of grip that'll make you have a hernia. You can use that to twist your fucking core and get those vocal cords to just squeeze and pinch and tear. Just fucking rip them to shreds if you want, but you don't. You hold them just tight enough that they make the sound. And it's like, you play through it, drink a little water and moisturize that new stretch that they're able to accomplish. This thing, you're going to break the wood. If I twist the fuck out of this, I mean, you can see what I've done here. Just by hitting it harder. Harder isn't necessarily better. But with singing, I don't know. Sometimes it feels better. I guess that's why people smash their guitars sometimes. I ran so far away. Yeah, Persia. That's funny. I ran so far away. Just a plane flight. Just hop over there and say hello, man. Dude, a real Iranian republic with like a vocal place on the, I was going to say American stage, but like the world stage would be so fucking awesome. It would be so awesome to have like a vibrant Iranian leader that is youthful, whatever, just has the energy of love and is like, it perhaps is Muslim. Yeah, it's probably. And it's like, it doesn't have to be super devout. I don't know. Be devout Muslim if you want and live a righteous, pious life. That's my take anyway. And I don't want to put poor tone on that, but be a good person, whatever you worship. And I guess good has different connotations in different societies or different cultures. Fair point, Crossland. You stopped yourself again. But it would be so cool to have like a powerful, thought out, safe Iran. The thing is, if there's an Iran that's like total freedom, like fully invested in itself, that is like proud Iranian or Persian like citizens that like run their own government, and they're not going to want to give control of that area to the liberal economic order. I don't blame them. It could be a co-opt thing where another government that's kind of a fucking shill sells all their oil out to the fucking British, but like it could be a real problem, a real country, and that means a power player. I don't think Iran is maybe not at power player status right now because the way the regime crushed their westernization in the 80s, 90s until today, unfortunately. Not really crushed it, but hit the brakes on the Shah's attempt at corporatization, call it westernization. Not necessarily a good thing. The Shah spoke, Ruhollah Khomeini spoke a lot of truth. Well, I don't know. To be honest, I haven't listened to a lot of his speeches, but he understood that the Shah was an autocrat and that's not the way forward. Then his beliefs were just kind of like, in my opinion, whacked. To be honest, I don't know his beliefs. I never asked him. I haven't listened to his speeches. Just what I've heard. I mean, to make women wear fucking burqas is insane to me. Obviously, I want to jerk off when I look at porn, but I lived my whole life seeing women walking around outside in shorts and shirts, and I didn't lose my mind. Maybe I'm overly sexualized. I don't think so. Like, if you just being exposed to the female skin is not over, like you can handle it. If it's skimpy bikini, I mean, I saw some Brazilian bikinis when I was like 12 or something. I'm like, what? I thought that, like they said, nudity is illegal and that porn and all that. And then I saw, this is like in the 90s, I saw the pure ass with the bikinis, but the string was like dental floss. And I'm like, that's not the point. Or maybe it was just to cover the vagina. I don't know. Maybe the butt wasn't the problem. I thought the butt was like part of the nudity. Anyway, that was a little much for me as a 12-year-old. God be with you that see the internet when you're 6, 8, 9, 12, and you stumble upon that shit, because that carved an image in my mind at a mediocre age. I just let people cover up if they want to cover up. That's my take. And people wearing masks can be actually kind of problematic for society if you don't see who they are. But whatever, that's a whole other story. Just like I was watching video of them in the 60s and 70s, like women walking around, just normal, walking around campus with their books, hanging out. Thought it was like New York City, looked like Washington Square Park. It's like, this is Tehran, and everybody was chilling. I was like, what the fuck? Definitely a propaganda film of some sort, but totally looked like St. Louis. Like you're like fucking jamming, dude. And then some government comes in, and they've been living like that for 50 years. Some government takes power and like violently starts forcing them to worship a religion. Are you fucked? Now, this regime change thing is a whole other story. They've been doing it. I mean, you know as well as I do, probably, if you're listening, the Afghanistan, Iraq, the Saddam Hussein party is gone. Now there's like I don't even know who runs that government, and it hardly ever gets talked about in the media, probably on purpose, because it's probably a bunch of corporations running it, or like, who fucking knows? If you know, please put it in chat. Afghanistan, regime changed in Syria. Now they've got, I guess, Al-Qaeda, a guy from Al-Qaeda is running Syria now. But what the Iranian, that government did, that those people, and then like, what have they produced? What has that government done great for the world? What have they done? What have they allowed their people to produce over the last 40 years? It's a very outside perspective. Never been there. I don't like. It's just what the fuck? That government, and maybe you could say that the Shah was fucking them up too by hyper-industrializing the nation too quick, but they have opportunity with that brain trust of the Iranian people, the Persian Empire, basically the holdovers from these brilliant strategic masterminds of humans. Their progeny, they've been, and I know what like 3 generations of malnutrition can do, which is another reason why you got to stifle the horrific governments and get them out and like fix your government. I like the thing about revolution is it's built into the American Constitution. It constantly revolves. You've got a revolution of congressmen. They serve ideally a few terms and then they're out, but whatever, they can serve time and then pass on. President, revolution of presidency, it's built into the Constitution on purpose, the revolution. So we don't need to have a revolution to create a new government. We just change the people in the government, and the rules, basically, they function. And if they're malfunctioning because of new technology, we tweak it with an amendment or repeal an amendment to fix it again. Other governments that have autocrats that don't ever leave power, that want to stay in power for their life, they need a revolution of power. They need new power structure. They need new people, new perspectives in power to stay agile with the times. And you can see it in Ali Khamenei, that guy is not with it. He's old, and like old's not, I don't mean it as an insult or any kind of hyperbole or anything like that. It's from what I can see, he's vapid, like not strong behind the eyes. Like there's like a fogginess to his eyes. Maybe he needs to sun gaze more. I don't know. Dude's been in political power in this autocratic regime since 1989. It's not cool. Now, if you support, whether or not you support military action or regime change is another story, because I don't know. I'm not at the war table with those guys. And I don't have eyes in this deep bunker city that the Iranians are in. Fordo site, if you're familiar with it. Jack Posobiec was just talking with, I think, Steve Bannon about this place. Fordo sites, Fordo fuel enrichment plant is the Shahid Ali Mohammed nuclear facility, underground uranium enrichment facility. I haven't been there. Located 30 kilometers north of Qom, Iran. So it's underground. So you hit it, like Jack was saying, you hit it with a bunker buster. And then you're going to have to hit that crater with another bunker buster, and then that crater with another bunker buster. And then there's no way to verify if you destroyed the nuclear facility. Like, so what? But then I've been studying a lot of World War II history and the way Neville Chamberlain applied appeasement to Hitler. And that was their main diplomatic philosophy, was appeasement. They were like, whatever, let's just give him a little bit when he asks for it. And so Hitler was like, sorry if there's lag. Yeah, that's what drives me nuts. So Hitler wanted part of Czechoslovakia, and it's like at that point, you're like, what the fuck? He wants to take a huge chunk of another country. But it was like, used to be Germany. So the British just said, give him the Sudetenland in Western Czechoslovakia, give it to him. Gave him a big industrial base. He used that same Sudetenland industrial base to produce tanks to destroy the French people with. So keep that in mind. Giving him, allowing, and they felt like that with Putin, that he was going to take, if we issued appeasement and you can have the Donbass, you can have the eastern Ukraine, that he'd be like, thank you, and I will use it to destroy you. But Putin's a merchant. He wants that port, Sevastopol port. He wants to make his country rich. So that's what he doesn't want to conquer East and West. He doesn't want to get his country ripped to shreds by the Chinese and the Americans. He's wants that port city so he can make his country economically viable. It's a different situation. But the appeasement thing, Iran, apparently they've threatened nuclear attack on Israel. I'm sure Israel's saber rattled, and I don't really hear the Israeli government talk about threatening to wipe Iran off the map. They talk about changing the regime in Iran. The Iranian regime is, I haven't listened to these guys literally, but have said they want to, I don't know how gruesome they want to be with the Jewish people. Or is it this country of Israel? They think the country of Israel is not righteous. I don't know. But so it's not like we were in a state of appeasement with Iran where they were like, give us this land. And we were like, okay. And then we're going to invade. They're just developing a weapon that they could use to strike. I mean, this is the argument. Here again, I wasn't at the battle table. I wasn't in Fordo nuclear facility enrichment plant. I haven't been with Netanyahu in his boardroom when we're talking about battle extracts and like looking at maps and like considering troop deployments and like what weapons do they really have? What do they really have? What kind of threat do they really pose? I don't know. And I'm looking back at this like history will tell if Benjamin Netanyahu was a hero or a villain. If he stopped World War III by removing this autocratic, horrific regime that has threatened and just decimated a population of phenomenal humans in the Iranian people for 40 years. Like if he pulls the fucking splinter out and all of a sudden the wound can heal, or if it's just another reason to attack and conquer someone else. And it's just like, even the Jews could become as evil as the Nazis. You'd think, how? They're Jews. Anyone can become that crazy and evil. Like you see villains everywhere. Maybe you're the villain. So I don't know. I find myself like sinking into this adaptation of just this warm feeling of just accepting the British Empire, the American, the Five Eyes, the liberal economic order is the right way, is the best way. And if you're looking at it as like extreme Sharia or liberal economic order, even the Russians and the Chinese are down with liberal economic order. Like Iran's on its own here, being kind of on it. They're not. People do not like radical Islam in government control. Like you want to practice radical Islam? Go for it in your country, in your place. You have the freedom of religion as long as it doesn't step on other people's toes. But when you start commanding other people to behave, you got to do it in a righteous, legal way that puts their rights first. If you don't think they have human rights, then I got an issue with you. Because they do. At least they do in the greatest society. And then they seem to be accepted in a bunch of other ones. So I get this feeling of the liberal economic order is like, it is good. It is right. At least in this context. And like the more I study about this, the betrayal that Ruhollah Khomeini put on his people, he pointed the problem out. He was not the solution, but they put him in the position of the solution and he accepted it. And then he devastated his country. And I'm like, well, if it's the liberal economic order or that, I'm with you, liberal economic order. But when it comes to the Russian shit, I'm like, fuck no. The Russians, the Chinese, and the Americans should establish a new world order together and allow the American military to pivot, to run sorties and like control and protect. Like, let it work together with it. Work together with it. The Russian military and the Chinese military too. We should be working like training missions. The three of us should be working together so we know each other's tactics and we can protect our countries from these crazy shits, these fucking religious psychotic people that think that their way is the best. Like, you need to build systems that can live without you, because you're going to be gone. No, it won't all end in tears. It's going to be good. A lot of good stuff's going to happen. It's a real, it's an interactive time to be living. People used to hear about this stuff in newspapers, and then they'd get something in the mail. They get a note in the mail that says they have to go to their local draft office or something. And it's like, there's no escape, you know? I don't know. Back in the day, they were just like, they used to get pushed around, and now we are pushing. This is why people like Joe Rogan, you know, people with huge podcasts that are commanding the perception or the control of people's perception are pushing on the global military narrative, and they're affecting it. And it's way more powerful than a lot of people realize. I'll tell you that much. It is really effective. It is producing ripples of belief. And like they say, that 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon. You ever hear that? Where they're like, hey, everybody's related or knows somebody that knows Kevin Bacon by like 7 degrees. So you know somebody that knows 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 Kevin Bacon. It's like a funny thing to do. But then you can track it and like it's true. It would keep being true. The way you ripple out the things you say, then those people that heard it ripple out things, and it might not be like what you said, but your ripple has affected them, and then it changes the way they ripple out. And with mass media and internet video, this static dynamic form where the video is there forever, relatively, where you can go watch it at any time. It's not being controlled at this time on this day, any time. So it's this constant attention to the data. Like back then at 8 p.m., everyone would see it. Then at 9 p.m., no one would be seeing it. And the data, people weren't keeping it relevant in the collective consciousness. But when people are constantly this is a phenomenon I've noticed as a video creator too. I get a high of energy when I make videos from people watching my videos. I feel it coming from else. It's a different kind of heightened electric energy that comes from without. It's tough to explain, and it's anecdotal, but it feels like the constant attention. Even if there's like one person watching me somewhere, believing in me, that I am real. They're thinking of me as they're watching. It's that. I feel it. It's like affecting me. And so this constant revision of the data is propelling the memory of it. It's making it transmit from mind to mind quicker. It seems like it's lubricating the data transfer. It's a great time to be alive in that sense. I mean, in my opinion, they say it's to be born in America, in the United States of America in the 21st century is the greatest opportunity ever afforded to a human being. That will change in the future because other people will have better opportunities, but till now, this is the best. And it got better over time. It was the best when I was young, and it's better than it was. And we have to be righteous. Use your morals now. So they taught us all the morals of Christianity when we were young. They taught me all the morals. And now you implement them on a social level, whatever that means, but not theocratically, not like you don't in my opinion, it's not to force beliefs on people at the edge of the tip of a sword. It's battle your ideas with my ideas. This is why the wonder of what Jesus Christ would have had in this nation at this time. If he'd been alive right now, he would be thriving. He'd have 60 million followers on the internet or whatever. He'd be supported by our nation, by our people, because he was an anti-imperialist. He spoke out against the fucking monarch and having someone try and control you. He's like, you're free, man. We built a society that can sustain people like that. So be like that, live like that. You know, procreate that mentality. It's the morals of and not just religion, but some of the morals we have now with this technology, how you can project it. Yeah, it's an opportunity to kind of change the consciousness. With AI coming and it's learning from us now, we're training ourselves and it all at once. And so moralistically, as I was explaining, I was like thinking of my own moral failings, and like, I'm not perfect. I wouldn't claim to be. Couldn't be if I wanted, I'm sure. Could be better, could be worse. But, anyway, I don't want to get too lost in what I think I am. Just utilize the morals that you've learned in your life now. And it's super effective. The iron is hot. I'm reading some of the comments here. Midnight Toker, the Ukraine was laying from the start. Ukraine war. Lubricate the data, but don't water it down. Yeah. Don't oversaturate the data. Just lube it up. Patriot Asylum. I think that the more you feel empowered, the more you become relevant psychically, whether that's ephaptically or other. And I'll show you what I mean by psychically. The more it's this. I think I stumbled upon this. Someone showed it to me, or I found it researching psychic phenomenon or something, and it's this called a phaptic coupling. The Tower Gang was like, phaptic coupling. I thought it was funny. A phaptic coupling is a form of communication within the nervous system and is distinct from direct communication systems like electrical synapses and chemical synapses. It's different than that. It's different than synapse firing. But may refer to the coupling of adjacent nerve fibers caused by the exchange of ions. So, and it may be referring to the coupling of nerve fibers as a result of local electric fields. So either an ion transmission, which I would think different than electrical synapse, but still could be ionic, which means that there's a electron in there somewhere. Could be chemical, which is what you think of when you think of brain communication. Neuron to neuron is electrical synaptic firing, but apparently nerves, the nervous system can communicate through magnetic fields. So the Earth's magnetic field, for instance, our brains could be vibrating within this magnetic field, and that's how they're transmitting data. This is just a phenomenon. I can't claim that this is what is causing psychic power, but when people are thinking about you, and maybe when someone's watching your video and they're feeling you, they're hearing, I know what it's when I'm watching someone, I'm feeling them. Perhaps your neurons are coupling with their neurons, and you're causing some sort of stimulation in their nervous system. And when I say I feel energy, this might be part of the phenomenon as to why. Ephaptic coupling. I wonder if they do any experiments on ephaptic coupling. I'm not sure how you would, but ephaptic coupling experience. Let's look it up. Ephaptic coupling experiments. You've had seasons of that? Oh, I just jumped into a conversation. Okay, hang tight. Oh, they have done some experiments on ephaptic coupling. Yep. The propagation of epileptiform activity in rodent hippocampi. They've been talking about the mouse. I think that was from one brain, within one brain. They saw nerves within one brain communicating. Oh, they do cardiac cells. So like a heart. They say you're feeling a broken heart when someone else is in pain. Have you ever feel your heart hurt? Like literally your cardiac cells have neurons and stuff. Have shown ephaptic transmission is possible. This, I don't know what these words mean, but I'm going to read it. Isolated cardiomyocytes were pushed together end to end, and one stimulated a fire and action potential. Okay, I'm just reading stuff. I don't know if it's true. Hasn't been vetted. Interesting to think that your heart is ephaptically coupled to another person's heart that you love. Might be. My mother, I feel like that with my mom sometimes. I've noticed it with her anyway. I probably feel it with other people, and I just noticed it. I noticed it in her with me before I noticed it in me. Like, geez, there's some Or maybe it's all just my big imagination. No, I think it's a haptic coupling. Yeah, so using internet video to amplify the coupling phenomenon is so fucking powerful. I mean, mass media. It's why I became an actor. Why I was going to become a doctor, but I was like, I want to help the most amount of people. I'll become like a neuroscientist, like a super specialized, focused, and just this really hyper focused thing. And I thought, no, I'm going to be an actor, because if I could affect the most people with like good vibes, maybe that will do it. That will help more people. It doesn't, you don't have to pick one, you can do both. But that was like when I was like 14, I think I thought that. 13. When I was 12, I wanted to be a doctor. By the time I was 14, I wanted to be an actor. Or 13, I think, is when I was having that consideration. And now, that was before the internet. You just do a movie, and the way that those actors could command society, but like they couldn't really get their words out. Like Marlon Brando, super famous, but he couldn't really get the word out unless he did an interview on someone else's network. Those production companies owned everything, and now you control your own media production. You can get the word out. So this coupling phenomenon is like, you can haptically couple your deepest, truest self with internet video with the masses, and then they know who you are for real. So when they think about you, it really affects you. That's probably has something to do with it. Because if you put a fake persona on the internet and then they think about you, it's going to give you, it might give you energy, but it might be like they're just not getting the frequency right. Their brain's thinking of a different frequency because it's a different persona of what you really are. So the more real you are, the more entangled you become. I don't know if it's actually quantum entanglement. Could be. There might be both phenomenon at once, Is it phenomenons or phenomenon? Jury's still out on that one. Phenomenonic? Yeah, I think it's the phenomenasis. That's Naesus. Actors soon to be, this is an interesting take. MB6 3GTS said, actors soon to be a thing of the past with AI. Well, I think humans will always be acting in some way, but like taking action is there a camera on you or not? Does it matter? Are you acting if there's no one around to listen? Is this just the action of moving? It's like, I am taking action. I am acting right now, although I'm not performing a character, I'm still acting in a sense. The AI, but now, real talk, the AI is going to produce immense amounts of entertaining movies with completely fake, just not people that aren't real, that are created for the movie. And that's going to happen in mass. In 99.999% of the media may be generated by AI. It can become so entertaining. And the modularity of it for you to be like, no, make the monster purple. Have it come out of the water. Have it scare them. And then the movie like reroutes and then reloads from like 32 minutes and 7 seconds. And then you're like, okay, yeah. Wait, make me the main character. Yeah, BV Luminous. You'd be like, Ian, even Ian is a character. Well, you're seeing aspects of me, that's for sure. You're not seeing my asshole. That's an aspect of me that I could just bend over and put out on the internet that I'm not doing. But sorry to make you think about that. Just I use extreme circumstances. But yeah, you're getting me as much as you're going to get me. So, but I think that actors will always be useful, like to be able to create, because there's some weird shit that happens when you undermine yourself. Have you noticed that when you're being creative and you kind of slip your own disc, you kind of slip your own reality, you pull the rug out from under your own belief structure in the middle of creation and the new thing that comes out? Maybe a robot can do that, but subvert its own data set, that might be tough. Like the free-flowing artist, it's not animal. It's like beyond animal. It's not just animal. There's something going on that's beyond the animal. Firstly, the robot is not an animal. I don't think it has connection to spirit like we do, or where we can be tweaked and twisted by the plantum phenomenon, the plasma basically that's dancing through our souls. It's changing us in these superstellaric patterns that maybe a super intelligence could replicate. Maybe. It'd be silly to say that it can't. But the value of the human ammobility, amoeba-ness, this like amorphousness to the humanity is tough to replicate with ones and zeros, man. Maybe the quantum machine can pull it off when it can be a 1 and a 0 at the same time. I don't know. Maybe there will be societies where like the human is not forgotten, and there are other societies where you're just like in a column where you're just like visualizing robotic information, all like data. Interesting concept. Interesting. Your artistic workflow goes all over. My flow's my flow's interesting. I hope I'm so this stream shows that it's not live. I just want to make sure that my stream didn't shut down. Oh yeah, that's right. I think I'd been experiencing internet issues this last week, and it had affected my gaming a little bit. I've been playing Heroes of the Storm. But I just want to say hello to everybody in chat. You guys fucking rock, by the way. This has been extremely entertaining for me. It's still called Iran, and the category is music. That is extremely confusing for the algorithm. I should be playing like some Persian rock or something. What's the Persian scale is different than the pentatonic scale? Is that what it's called? I'm just laughing that the video I put up is called Iran and the category is music on YouTube, and I'm just like a grungy hippie. It doesn't give a fuck about pretenses, and that's held me back on YouTube for 20 years. As I'm like, I don't care about looking good, and you're like, ugh, looking is half the battle. Well, maybe like 20 or 30%, 60, 70 to 80% of it is audio. From my experience with internet video and success of internet video, your video can be kind of distorted if it sounds good. People can listen to it. At least the stuff I do requires audio flow because a lot of it's like stream of consciousness. So some of it comes out of stream of consciousness. It's very soothing to listen to. Kind of stroking my own shit there for a minute. I find it soothing to listen to. Sometimes when I make stuff, I'll upload it and then I'll listen to it once. And I'm like, that was fucking good. And then I'll listen to it again. And the second time I listen to it, I feel like I'm stroking myself. I'm like, dude, this is ego. This is like hubris. The second time I'm listening to it all the way through, I'm like, self-love, narcissism. I'm like, this is the grossest. So I try just to watch it once, to force myself to see it, to acknowledge like, this is what I am. This is what I was for a moment. And do I want to be like that? And then kind of craft and fix problems I've got that I can finally see from the outside. But then if I'm like, oh, I really like that video, I was just getting too into myself, so I had to kind of pull back. This is from Sean Morris. It's a super chat asking, oh, I pinned that comment. Vacuums always get filled. Good comment. Requesting Iran's So Far Away by Flock of Seagulls. All right, I have to play it now. The title of the video is Iran, so I'm going to play it. Iran by Flock of Seagulls. Could you imagine being on a beach in Iran with the fucking seagulls, just the wind, the salt water blowing, the air, the wind, the beauty, just the nature of it all, and to be peaceful, to be calm. Good people wearing the tightest fucking bikinis and thong shorts, running around with their leg hair, and some guys shave their chests, and it just gets sexual. You know, you gotta not let the sexual culture influence the children. Welcome to the United States. Welcome to the I walk along the avenue. Yeah, it's a good song. I never thought to go. I meet a girl like you. Me, girl like you. With auburn hair and tawny eyes. I can't be too loud right now. I mean, I can. I just got to go to a different room to go to a studio. I'll do it in a lower octave. I walk along with auburn hair and tawny eyes, the kind of eyes that hypnotize me through. Hypnotize me through. And I ran so far away. Love it. I just ran. I ran all night and day. I couldn't get away. I love how they go to the A there, not the A minor, because a noob would go back to that A minor. And that vamp right there. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. But it plays the A. It's like, no, it's not this. It's this. It's bright, you know? The horizon is lit up. So I couldn't get away. It's like, oh, this is the future is major. A cloud appears above your head. A beam of light shining down on you. Shining down on you. The cloud is moving, water still. That's not what it is. The cloud is moving, nearer still. Aurora Borealis. Aurora How does he sing that? Aurora Borealis comes in view. Aurora comes in view. And I ran so far away. This is a song I gotta rock. I cannot sing this song quiet. You know me, and you know I'm an animal. You know how hungry I get. I need to consume my environment with my digestive juices that are sound. It's how I work. I'll flood you with the noise. I'm like a Venus flytrap. Oh, my music is so sweet. Don't you just want some more? I'm hungry. I'm hungry. I'm hungry for the sound. I just need a big venue to play in right now and blast off. It is. It's a little late in the day for to be going too hard. I wanted to just kind of wind it down, and thank you guys so much. This is amazing, Sean Morris. I appreciate you. Flock of Seagulls was just starting to hit when you worked. Was that what you were talking about? I'm kind of in and out of context, but we had a few new people in chat that I hadn't seen before. We have Cerise Jones and Axel Bloodmoon as well. Fire off to everybody in Twitch, if I'm still live on Twitch, which I think I am, even though there's a disruption in the stream. I wonder if X went down. Tough to tell. If you've been chatting on X, I haven't been seeing it. I ran so far away. I wonder if someone will do like a 24-hour live stream of I Ran, and it's just the song over and over and over again on repeat. It would probably have like 60,000 live viewers or something. Maybe bots that pick up I Ran in the algorithm that just feed it views because they want attention on it. New Wave Unplugged. What's the new wave now? Yeah, new wave, dude. New Wave Unplugged, like the Police. I can't get to sleep. What was that song? That's not the Police. That's Men Down Under. It's actually the lead singer, Colin Hay. Overkill is how... Overkill. Like when you're talking new wave, you're talking to me is Colin Hay, Overkill. Excuse me. Let me pull up this, and I'm gonna do what I did last time. Pull up the chords. Does he have a capo or anything? It'll say no capo. I can't get to sleep. I think about the implication of diving in too deep. Yeah. And possibly the complications, especially at night. I worry over situations there. I know I'll be alright. Perhaps it's just my... Does he go up there? Imagination. Then the B minor. Day after day, it reappears. I should look at these chords before I start to play them. B minor to the A sus4. Oh, that's cool. Day after day, it reappears. Night after night, my heartbeat shows the fear. F sharp sus 2, what's that? It's this. Ghosts appear to the F sharp 7, which is ghosts appear and fade away. What a great song. Let me play that chorus again. Day after D minor. Day after day. No, it's the B minor. It's the B minor. Day after day, it reappears. Yeah. But night after night, my heartbeat shows the fear. Ghosts appear. I know it's here. Appear and fade away. In college, I learned if I'm memorizing a monologue, doesn't matter how long it is. It could be like 10 minutes long. I'm just talking for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 15 minutes, doesn't matter. Start from the top, working through the monologue. If I mess up one word, stop, start from the top, go again. If I mess up one word, stop, start from the top, go. And you get it until you make no mistake. That's the only way to memorize it. You have to do it once with no mistake, and then you do it again and you repeat it with no mistake. But it fixed me. It was advice from my friend Dave Stan, who's a brilliant man. I love him. Great director. Great advice. Good friend of mine in college. Love Dave. And I just started doing that. And I was able to memorize huge, ginormous monologues. I mean, I would spend 2 hours a day, 6 different days, pacing around on stage as if there was an audience out there, saying the lines, hitting the beats, stepping to the point, finishing the thought, practicing it. But that getting it right every time is important for memorization. So anyway, I brought that up because I hit the wrong chord here and I wanted to stop and start over. But in music and in rock and roll, and when you're live in your performance, you don't stop and start again. So it's kind of this quasi performance reality with internet video. I'm still a hybrid. I'm from the old days where unless I'm on stage or it's go time, I'm not performing. But hitting go live, you're kind of like creating your own go time. I'm so used to be given in go time to wait until it's like, okay, Ian, go. But now you get to push yourself and like, I guess technically we're in go time. But I've noticed the subtlety, the nuance in explaining the meta of what's happening, stopping and explaining all this stuff is very cool. That I'm able to do that, to explain my state of mind. It's almost more interesting than a performance in itself, or it becomes a performance without even trying to perform. As long as you're pointing towards the microphone and, all the technicals are functioning, it's technically, I guess, a performance. Anyway, let's go to the next line. What a great song. I think this is when he goes up, but I don't know if I'm going to do that. Alone between the sheets. Where does he go to here? I'm not going to play that chord, I'm sorry. Alone between the sheets only brings exasperation. It's time to walk the I think I've had enough, you guys. Let me finish this song. It's time to walk the streets. And though there's this little variation, it nullifies the night. Nullifies the night from overkill. Day after day. All right. That's my little transjunction of overkill. Yeah, one of the things about being a successful performer is you got to learn when to stop. Because like a masterpiece Sometimes if you're painting, you'll know this too. When you're painting, you'll hit it every once in a while. You'll put the dot on the canvas and you'll be like, whoa, it's perfect, and it's a 100%. And that's pretty cool when that happens. And then if you're like, let me just add one more. Oh, now it's a 92 again. You're like, shit, how do I get it back up to 100? And you've got to do all the balance again to make it perfect. And it's the same with any performance. Part of it, the rock star, they finish, they just fucking smash the guitar and walk off stage. I guess that's kind of impressive. I don't know. Otherwise, they're going to sit around and talk to you for 2 hours and like, just wanted to hear him play a song, man. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here with me on this beautiful, vibrant evening, Friday morning, 2:25 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It is June 20th, 2025. What a day it has been so far. And it's just going to keep getting better. Feedback. Give your energy. Now make it good. Use your best. Oh, I'm going to do full face here before I go. Thanks to everyone for coming. Follow, like, subscribe. Appreciate everything. The super chats were rad. It's phenomenal that there's income. I started doing YouTube in 2006, well before there was any money involved. Just because I love communication so much. I've gone through waves of learning how to do it sustainably, because trying to take everyone on at once can drive a person insane. And I went through that phase in the early days of YouTube with internet video. I was like, I'll talk to everyone all the time, anyone that wants to. And people were like giving me their shit. Some shit's heavy, some shit's dirty, some shit's got fucking tapeworm in it, so watch out. But with that bulletproof armor, transduce, travel the airwaves, the info waves, and have a glorious evening. I'll see you in the stratosphere on the Rainbow Bridge fractal pattern shape thing. Remind me when I see you, and then we'll continue.